Good morning, everyone. How you doing? It's May 6th, 2018. Equality of outcome. A lot of people mistake equality of outcome with actual equality. The equality of outcome is impossible. It cannot be guaranteed because of the variable of the human mind. Say, for example, you're a Hispanic fellow whose only skill is yard work, and you go and apply for a job to operate heavy equipment. And another guy who's been operating heavy equipment for a long-ass time applies for that job, and he gets it because he's qualified. That is fair, because the person who the Hispanic fellow, he was underqualified to operate that machinery and would have had to been trained to do so. The company saves money by hiring the guy who already knows how to do this. Equality of outcome is impossible desire. It can't be done based on the human variable. If a guy has IQ of 130 or something like that, and he applies for a job at, say, BMW to work on the machinery there, and a guy with an IQ of, say, 90 applies for the same job, it would be in the benefit of the company to hire the individual with a higher IQ because he has an understanding already of how these machines work. Take me, for example. I can walk into any given plant at any given place, and I will know how everything in that place works by the time I walk out of that building. But somebody else who hasn't been interested in how things work, or don't have the same IQ as me, they try to do the same thing, they're not going to get the job because they can't figure out or put the pieces together to figure out how all of this stuff works together. Some people are smart enough to push buttons on a machine. I can walk into any plant in this country, and probably in a foreign country with foreign languages put on it, and know exactly how to operate the machinery without any training. Whereas the person who's never been inside of a plant before, they're going to need a lot of on-the-job training. So it would be more logical to hire the person who knows how the shit works in the first place. Some people are smart enough to drive a car, but not smart enough to work on the car. My buddy Nunk, for example, I've showed him how to change brakes over the course of our relationship at least 10 times. And he still doesn't understand. And that is the reason why there cannot be equality of outcome. You have the equality to try to get the job. But at the end of the day, the more qualified person may end up with that job because they don't have to be trained. On the other hand, a company could look at it like this. Well, we have to pay this guy who knows everything already a huge sum of money because we don't have to train him, and he's pretty intelligent. And they don't want to do that. So they hire the guy who's not as intelligent, but the outcome in the production of that vehicle is seriously diminished as a result of that decision. I worked in quality control for a year at BMW. And the people who were less intelligent, they wanted to cut corners. They wanted to let things pass that had serious defects on them. And the people who had higher intelligence said, no, if we send this car out as it is, there may end up being a major recall, and it would cost the company so much more money to let this vehicle go and have to recall a whole bunch of vehicles when only one vehicle had that defect. So when they choose to use the cheaper labor, the outcome is unequal. The cars are not as well built as they would be if they used the people with higher intelligence to do the job. And there are jobs that don't require much brain power, like landscaping. If you lay sod, all you need to know is the female and male ends fit together. And that's how the sod turns into grass. Seamless grass is by budding the male and female parts together. Doesn't take a whole lot of brain power to understand that. And I did lay sod for a summer as a teenager with my dad. And it was brutal, tough fucking work. Especially after a rainfall where the sod absorbed all that water. It's a very difficult job. And the people who do jobs like that deserve respect in a different way because they're able to endure the physical pain, and it's painful at times to do the job. So in those kind of jobs, you don't need people with high intelligence. What you need are people who are physically able to take the work. So it would be smarter for a landscape company to hire a person who is physically able to perform that duty, as opposed to the person with a high IQ but not physically fit enough to do the job. That position is the management position. And a lot of companies, they promote by how good a person is at a particular job, right? For example, a gas station clerk oftentimes gets promoted to assistant manager or manager, and then the store fucking does terrible. And it's because the person was smart enough to run the cash register, but not smart enough to run the store. That is why the equality of outcome cannot be guaranteed. I'm a very smart dude. I can fix just about anything that you put in front of me that's broke. I understand how these things work. But just because I understand that doesn't mean I'm going to get the outcome that I want. Because somebody who has better credentials than me, somebody who's been through 4, 5, 6 years of college, applies for the same job. I don't think that I'm necessarily less qualified than they are because of natural intelligence, but they have the paper education. Doesn't guarantee that they're going to do better at the job than I would, but because they have paper education, they're more likely to get that job than I am. Is it fair? Well, I think probably so. I mean, people are different. my IQ may be 110, but the guy next to me, his IQ may be 80, and the guy next to him, his IQ could be 140. And each of these people do not have equality of outcome based on that. And the reason why some people are smarter than others is because of life experience, and they actually sat down and thought about how everything works and dug into information that increased their capacity to absorb information and learn. So, no outcome or equality of outcome, because it's impossible. It's impossible. Anyway, I thought I'd share my thoughts on this issue with you because it's a big topic people talk about. And while I don't agree with Jordan Peterson on everything, I do happen to agree on this particular issue, that it's just impossible to expect equality of outcome. It's just not possible. Anyway, hope you all have a good day. Kill the state, live free.